If you watched my previous video, you'll know that I had a couple of nights at anchor in Poole Harbour in quite strong winds, and the forecast was for much more, so I moved Zephyr 4 to the Poole Quay boat haven. The marina is much like any marina, with the usual collection of sailing boats and motorboats, but at the entrance was something completely different. This is Medallia, an IMOCA 60 international monohull open class racing boat, more of a sailing machine than a boat really. It belongs to Pip Hare, and it's being modified and prepared for the forthcoming Vendee Globe round the world race.
Oh god, I missed it!
It weighs about the same as Zephyr 4, but whereas I'm delighted to get over 7.5 knots, Pip tested Medallia after her latest modifications and got nearly 30 knots. I'll put links about Medallia in the description of this video. Do take a look, but after you've watched the rest of this video, of course. We'd had warnings of thunderstorms and other nasties all day, but they didn't materialise until the end of the day. Tomorrow's forecast looks good, so I'm planning to leave tomorrow and continue west. Engine's running, the sun's come out, and we're about to leave Poole Quay Marina. Leaving Poole behind, a bit lumpy, at 20 odd knots of wind, and we're doing 6 knots. With the tide, I should think, I haven't checked over the ground yet, but I should think we're doing pretty well. There's Poole Bar boys, port and starboard. I was a bit premature with my calling of the bar boys. Here they are. There's the port one and the starboard one over there. Bit of tide in our direction, which is quite nice. Almost past Swanage. This sticky outy bit over there is called Peveril Point, and this is Peveril Ledges we're about to go over. There's a red buoy pretty much dead ahead, and it's recommended that you stay outside of that, especially when the tide's flowing hard. There's the buoy going past with the tide, a little bit of popple out there, but nothing very serious. I could have gone through that without any trouble. Anyway, Anvil Point coming up, and so we're going to bear to starboard, or turn right, and head off round Anvil Point and St Albans Head to the west. This gaggle of sailing boats behind are on a race. It's sort of not a just desperately serious one, I don't think, but they're racing to Weymouth. I had dinner with one of the crew last night and told me all about it. So there was a lot of inexperienced sailors there with a couple of very experienced crew to show them what to do. So I guess once they get round St Albans Head here, and when the wind will be behind us, they'll end up with Spinnakers, which unfortunately I don't think I'm going to do. This is Anvil Point on a nice day. It's not as nice as this on windy horrible days, but it's nice today. There's that lovely castle. Let's see if you can see it. Still going round Anvil Point. The two lattice masts are one end of a measured mile. The other end is further down. I can see it, but I'm not sure they will be with the camera. It's down there. And this is the Coast Guard station at the top here. Further on is St Albans Head. The racy people are getting closer and closer. They're in 40 footers, so one would expect them to be a bit faster than me. You can see the measured mile posts now, look, just about to coincide. So there you are, we're in line with the two posts. That's the start or the end of the measured mile. As you can see, we're between Anvil Point and St Albans Head. Steadily being overtaken with these guys with their Spinnakers. I love to put my asymmetrical up, but I really don't want to do it by myself, especially as it's a bit rolly. And I've got to be safety conscious, I suppose, but I really would love to put it up. I'd like to say I was catching this lot up, but I'm not. They've overtaken me gradually, but we're very pushy with all the Spinnakers. But it's getting a bit rolly out here, as you can see. We're coming up to the St Albans Head race, and it will be even worse there, so I'm going to hunker down. There's St Albans Head. It's a very characteristic shape, and we're rolling around like there's no tomorrow. Everybody's rolling around. All these people with Spinnakers are rolling around too. It'll get better once we get around this headland. Had a bit of fight with this. It's a bit rolly, but we got the jib boomed out the opposite side from the mainsail. That's given us another knot, I should think. I don't think we're going to catch up with any of that lot over there, but at least we're making our way a little bit faster. Quite a fight though. Yeah, that's better. 5.3 knots. That's almost a full knot faster. Oh, this is great. We've got 20 knots of wind behind us on occasions. 5.1 through the water, it says. And a dear old autopilot is holding it all together. It's fantastic. And the sea state's gone down. Now we're round St Albans Head. This is a bit more normal. The Dorset coast in all its glory. It's a lovely part of the world. I love sailing along here. We're running downwind with the jib boomed out on the opposite side to the main, known as wing on wing or goose winging. Let me just show you a couple of things that are really important. Pure downwind at the moment, and very, very possible to get into an involuntary jibe, which would be disastrous in this wind strength. So I've got a preventer out there. If you can see it, it's the yellow rope that goes forward round a cleat and then back here to another cleat, and it would just stop the boom going across. The worst that would happen is end up with a Chinese jibe. And then I've got a lightweight booming out pole. This isn't particularly strong. It's very light though, I can handle it without it trying to throw me over the side. I don't bother with up-hauls and down-hauls and things. If you get the position on the mast in the right place, it pretty much looks after itself. But it holds the jib out nicely and stops it falling over and adds quite a bit of speed to the boat. So what's not to like, eh? It's not easy getting that pole out there. The forces are quite considerable, but I got some tips from Tom Cunliffe, who said partially furl your headsail so that it's not flying around your head when you go up forward, because it can be really quite dangerous up there. And part furl it and then hook the end of the booming out pole on the sheet and attach it to the track on the mast, and then unfurl it and out it goes. That works very, very well. Very, very well. Anyway, Portland is in sight now. All these boats that overtake us are still overtaking us. We haven't caught up with anybody, but then I didn't really expect to. Well, here's what it looks like on the chart plotter. You can see we've got a nice broad yellow arrow behind the boat indicating the wind. The blue one is indicating the tide, which is pretty much in the direction we're going, and we're heading a little bit south of where I want to be, but near enough for Portland Harbour. This is Portland Harbour here, and Weymouth is just a little bit above it. And speed over the ground, 6.8 knots, and we're doing 4.9 to 5 knots boat speed, so we got a nice bit of tide with us helping. Just pop my head out of the companionway just to make sure we're not running into anything. What a lovely view that is. Lovely view. ready for a cup of tea. There's my cup. We're past Lorworth Cove now, and the sea's heaving up a little bit. Long swell. So we're approaching Portland. It's not throwing the boat around very much at all. There's Portland Bill, Portland Harbour. We've got quite a following the sea actually. We're doing 5 knots, 6.3, 6.4 over the ground. Just going along the outside wall of Portland Harbour, there's an entrance over there, but they don't really like you to use that one, so we're using this one over here, which is quite an interesting place to get to right this minute. We've got the tide against us, it's quite lumpy, but plenty of wind, so we'll be okay. There's a little boat going in there now, and we'll be there in just a little while. I've got rid of the Genoa and we're just going in under main, wind pretty much behind us, and there's the preferred entrance. The sun in our eyes here, but there's the other side of it. Well, here we are in Portland Harbour. It really is a very, very large lump of water, and perfect for dinghy sailing and all sorts of things. I'm going to go to the Castle Sailing Club, which is dead ahead. They often have moorings there that are spare, and they don't mind you borrowing one for the night as long as you stay on board, which I will. Well, eventually I managed to find a buoy and get myself tied up to it. Thank you, Castle Sailing Club. Had a peaceful night there, and the following day I set off back, but I made a bad decision and had the scariest night of my life. You'll have to wait for the next video for that.